Mad Max Fury Road is a 2015 post-apocalyptic action thriller film. Imagine a place where civilization has been collapsed, and it's a dog-eat-dog situation where the only two precious commodities are oil and water. Food is hard to find and the air is poisoned. The movie reveals around something similar. The movie tells the story of a survivor who joins forces with the imperator in the journey of escaping from the warlord. A warlord who wants to rule the world and is ready to sacrifice everything, including his wives, to remain on top. Planet Earth has been turned into an arid, sun-baked wasteland in a post-apocalyptic future. Civilization as we know it has collapsed, and in its place, a subhuman race. This one is located in Australia. Max revs his car and heads off into the wilderness. But after a long battle with crazy war boys in that place, Max has been taken as a prisoner by the war boys to the Citadel, the hordes controlled by the evil warlord, King Immortan Joe. Max is special as he has been earmarked as a universal blood donor, and is therefore used by Immortan as a blood bag for the sick war boy Nux. Elsewhere, in another scene, Furiosa drives her heavily armed and bulletproof truck called a war rig to deliver some supplies with some war boys as a security. But, suddenly and without warning, Furiosa drives the vehicle away from the decided route. Joe finds out that his 5 wives, which are genetically pure women who are selected for bearing his children, were not in the prison. He keeps them locked in prison. Angry Joe takes out his entire army to get Furiosa, taking the help of forces from Gastown and the Bullet Farm, 2 areas that are close by. While in the battle between Furiosa and Joe's army, Furiosa boldly makes a decision to go in a terrible sandstorm, to escape Joe for the time being, but, in that scene Nux tries to stop Furiosa, and while stopping her, he tries to sacrifice himself in that storm for King Joe. Because every war boy there thinks that if they sacrifice themselves for their king, they will perceive heaven, but Nux remains chained to Max. Max escapes and separates himself from Nux. Max staggers towards Furiosa and sees her doing maintenance on her rig, and the wives, who are outside and washing the dust and grime off themselves. Max commandeers the rig, but its pre-programmed kill switch disables the truck after barely a mile or so. Max then has to agree Furiosa and the wives, while Nux, who has been abandoned, staggers back to Immortan Joe. Furiosa then powers her war rig right through the biker gang's stronghold and gets inside a small canyon. She has made a deal with them to allow her to go in return for supplying them with thousands of gallons of fuel. However, Joe's forces are in hot pursuit and Furiosa escapes even as the bikers detonate the nearby canyon walls to block Joe's path with rubble. Max and Furiosa fend off the pursuing bikers, but Joe's vehicle evades the blockade and assaults the rig. Nux boards the rig while Joe attempts to shoot Furiosa. The splendid Angharad, who Joe has made pregnant, shields Furiosa, but falls from the rig and is run over by Joe's car, killing her and his child in the process. Furiosa explains to Max that they are escaping to the Green Place, a location she remembers from when she was a child. Capable, one of the 5 wives, finds Nux, distraught that he contributed to the death of Joe's pregnant wife. She consoles him and Nux has a moment of realization when she tells him that he is just a puppet in an old man's army. He then falls for her and then Nux joins forces with Max and Furiosa. At night, the heavy rig gets caught in deep mud. Furiosa and Max slow Joe's forces with explosives, but Joe's ally, the Bullet Farmer, pursues the rig. Nux helps free the rig while Furiosa shoots and blinds the Bullet Farmer. He fights back with machine gun fire and explosives. Max wanders into the dark to confront the Bullet Farmer, returning to the rig with guns and ammunition. As dawn breaks, the rig travels through swampland and desert, eventually coming across a naked woman. Max identifies it as a trap, but Furiosa leaves the rig and states her former clan affiliation. The woman summons her group, who realize that Furiosa is a member of their clan, kidnapped with her mother when she was a child. Furiosa is distraught to learn that the swamp land they passed was the green place, which is now uninhabitable. The clan, Furiosa, the wives, and Nux agree to take their bikes and set out across the immense salt flats in the hope of finding somewhere new to live. Max chooses to stay behind, but after seeing visions of his dead daughter, he convinces them to return to the citadel, which has ample water and greenery that Joe keeps for himself, and they plan to trap Joe and his army in the another canyon. The group begins the journey back to the citadel, eventually encountering Joe. A battle is waged by the two sides, and Furiosa is gravely injured. Joe positions his car in front of the rig to slow it, while Max fights Joe's son Rictus. Toast the Knowing is captured and put on Joe's car, but she distracts him, allowing Furiosa to hook Joe's mask to his car's rotating wheels, tearing his face off and killing him. Nux sacrifices himself by destroying the rig, blocking the canyon, killing Rictus, and allowing Max, Furiosa, and the wives to escape in Joe's car. Max gives his blood to Furiosa, to help her survive her injuries. At the citadel, Joe's citizens are overjoyed at the sight of Joe's corpse. Furiosa and the wives are raised up on a lift by the child war boys. As Furiosa looks back, she realizes that Max has stayed behind and is moving away through the crowd. They then look at each other, and bid each other farewell, knowing perhaps, that their paths will cross again.